Hey there, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I want to welcome you here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So, we're here to do a look back at a classic rock album. This one I wasn't so sure that I wanted to do. It's kind of faded with me over the years. It's been a long time, but it's too much of a classic album and it's their best-selling album of all time, so I think you got to kind of do it, and that's Styx's Paradise Theater. So this album was released on January the 16th, 1981, so 44 years ago. Seems like yesterday to me. I remember going and buying it at the store. I got the vinyl copy with the laser etching in it. The first copy I bought was warped, so I took it back and got myself another one. That one wasn't as warped, but still had a bit of a warp to it. But I didn't want to take it back a third time, so I just kept it. This was produced at Pumpkin Studios and Oak Lawn in Illinois. It's about 40 minutes long for a Styx album. That was probably their longest of that time period, I believe, or pretty close to it if it wasn't. On the A&M label, of course, and produced by Styx. So this is a concept album. I think it's their first one. Then they started doing concept albums after that, which didn't sit well with other members, and now those members are doing concept albums. But that's the way it goes, right? So it's a it's the concept of a fictional, I believe it's a fictional place called Paradise Theater. Opened in AD 1928 and closed in AD 1956. Now, maybe the theater really existed. I don't know. I didn't see anything to indicate that it didn't, so I assumed that it did. On this band, I'm just going to give you the kind of personnel on here. I mean, the main personnel we all know, but I'll give you them first. Dennis D. Young on vocals, keyboards. JY or James Young on vocals and guitars. Tommy Shaw, vocals, guitars, and vocoder. Chuck Panazzo on bass and bass pedals, and John Panazzo on drums and percussion. In addition to them, they had some additional personnel. Steve Eisen and Bill Simpson on saxophones, with Steve doing the solo part. Mike Halpern, John Haynor on trombone, and then Dan Barber and Mark Olson on trumpet, and Mark Olson also doing flugelhorn, and then Ed Tossing on horn arrangement, so he arranged everything. So those are the personnel for the album. So there are 11 tracks in total on this album. Pretty standard. Nothing unusual. Starts out with AD 28, where he's telling the introduction, and it ends with AD 1958, also telling an introduction. There is a State Street Saddie, which is kind of an instrumental part at the end, but for the most part, that's how it starts and ends. Then you got a bunch of rockin' songs in the middle. So Rockin' the Paradise, that's a pretty up-tempo song. I believe this is sung by Dennis D. Young, I always kind of like this song. It's a little bit poppy, but has a very positive, upbeat feeling. And then you go to Too Much Time on My Hands, which to me is probably the, I don't know if it's the best track on the album, but of the big tracks, I think I like it the most. This is sung by Tommy Shaw. I think it's a great track. Probably, to me, it's probably the best track on the album. Then you've got Nothing Ever Goes as Planned. Kind of forgettable, actually. The Best of Times is the other big hit on the album. This is a Dennis D. Young sung song. It's one of my favorites. Well, both Too Much Time on My Hands and The Best of Times are both songs I regularly sing when I'm showering. I like them both that much. The Lonely People, kind of a takeoff on, I think they say it's a bit of a takeoff on that Beatles song, Eleanor Rigby. It kind of got that feeling to it. She Cares. This one's really not registerable for me anyways. Snowblind may be one of the heaviest tracks on the album. I like this song quite a bit. Probably top 3 or 4 for me. Half Penny, Two Penny. This is probably the heaviest song on the album. Very different from a lot of the other ones. Got a little bit of a bite to it. Yeah, overall, pretty strong album. I don't think it's going to win my favorite Styx album when I finally do the rankings, but I don't even know if it'll make the top 5. Probably won't, but it's still a solid album. And I remember when this came out, 2 things. The first thing I remember is that the disc was warped and I had to keep taking it back. I took it back once anyways. And the other thing I remember about it is that it was very poppy. Kind of a little bit like Cornerstone, but I think the songs were more poppy than Cornerstone. So it was a bit of a disappointment for me at the time. However, over the years, some of the tracks have become staples with me for singing. And that in itself makes the album strong enough for me to have to do a classic look back at it. So Styx's Paradise Theater from 1981. I hope you like this episode. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to make your comments about the album or about Styx in general. Styx does have a new album coming out very soon. I'm looking forward to this. I've been eagerly anticipating it. I was worried that the last one they did, which was really good, might be their last one, but looks like they're going to have another one, and I'm excited to go to that. So it's been about 4 years since the last one. So I hope it goes well. Anyways, we will see you next Monday on Look Back at a Classic Rock Album. So take care and good night.